I really hope that I don't get in trouble for this one, but here are 3 conspiracy theories from history that turned out to be 100% true.
There's a conspiracy. A C-O-N conspiracy.
And the last one, it divided the country, hijacked headlines for years, and now we know it was based on lies. The Gulf of Tonkin lie. In 1964, the US claimed 2 of its Navy ships were attacked by North Vietnamese forces in the Gulf of Tonkin. Congress responded by giving President Johnson broad military powers, launching full-scale US involvement into the Vietnam War. But years later, declassified NSA documents proved the second attack never even freaking happened. So what's even more shocking about this is that US officials knew it was false, but they pushed the narrative anyway. One quote from then Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara admitted, "We were wrong. Terribly wrong. Too little, too late." A fabricated incident helped launch the US into a war that killed over 58,000 Americans and millions in Southeast Asia. This wasn't a fringe theory. It was an out-and-out state-level lie. Number 2, MK-Ultra. Sounds like sci-fi, but it's real. From the 1950s to the 1970s, the CIA ran a top-secret program called MK-Ultra to explore mind control, interrogation, and brainwashing, often using LSD and hypnosis. The kicker was that many of the test subjects didn't even know they were part of an experiment. Some of them were prisoners, some were psychiatric patients, and some were just regular people who were dosed without their consent. One CIA scientist, Frank Olson, was drugged without his knowledge. Days later, he mysteriously jumped from a hotel window. To this day, his family firmly believes that he was murdered. Most of the documents were destroyed in 1973. Convenient. But in 1975, the Church Committee uncovered enough to confirm the absolute horror. Your government experimented on its own people. Again, and no one was held accountable. Again, I know, you're surprised. And finally, number 3, the Trump-Russian collusion hoax. This is the one that's gonna get me in trouble. I just know it. We were all told that Donald Trump was a secret Russian agent who conspired with Putin to win the 2016 election. It was called the crime of the century. Only, it pretty much wasn't. In 2016, the FBI launched an investigation called Crossfire Hurricane, totally sick band name, based on claims that Trump's campaign was coordinating with Russian intelligence. A major piece of evidence was the Steele dossier, a collection of salacious, unverified reports, later shown to be full of fiction. So it turns out the dossier was paid for by the Clinton campaign, and the DNC funneled it through a law firm to avoid detection. The FBI knew the source behind the dossier, a man named Igor Danchenko, had questionable credibility, yet they used the information anyway to justify surveillance of Trump aide Carter Page under the FISA court. In 2019, the Mueller report found no criminal conspiracy between Trump and Russia, but the most explosive revelations came later. In 2023, the Durham report concluded the FBI failed to uphold their mission of strict fidelity to the law. It found that the FBI rushed to investigate Trump without solid intelligence and never had verified evidence of collusion. Durham himself even confirmed that the CIA had briefed President Obama and the FBI that Hillary Clinton was planning to tie Trump to Russia as a political strategy to distract from her email scandal. And get this, before the investigation even began. And yet, the media ran with the story for years. Entire careers were built on it. Social media censored dissent. Former intelligence officials, including those involved with the Hunter Biden laptop letter, added fuel to the fire, calling it all Russian disinformation. But here's the truth. There was Russian interference. That's confirmed. But the idea that Trump colluded with the Kremlin, completely fabricated, weaponized, and then used to justify surveillance, censorship, and public distrust for years. The real conspiracy wasn't Trump and Putin, it was how intelligence, media, and political actors worked together to manufacture a narrative. And now, most Americans barely know the truth was ever even revealed. But now you do, whether you believe it or not. Either way, I don't care, not the point of this video. Of course, some conspiracy theories are complete and utter nonsense, but others, they're covering stories for something much, much darker. Like, follow, save, and share for more untold stories of history that have stayed in the chateaus far too long. Please don't censor me.